is up on the screen right now. John Fetterman has an undeniably pro-criminal record. Last night on MSDNC, he again struggled with a basic softball question. Take a look.
And I suspect he ever will, because he understands how extreme is it, and he wants to lie and make sure people pretend that he doesn't have the exact same views as Doug Mastriano is.
Don't forget about this ad. It highlights Fetterman and how soft he is on crime. You probably, if we look at the record, there's been nobody running for office that ever supported the release of more murderers than John Fetterman. Take a look.
News reports show he shot and killed a teenager in cold blood for money to buy heroin. Against the concerns of the victim's family, John Fetterman voted to set him free. As crime rages, John Fetterman wants to take his radical voting record to the Senate. Pennsylvania can't afford Fetterman.
With reaction, Pennsylvania Senate candidate Dr. Mehmet is with us. So, no restrictions on abortion, moratorium on fracking. He's released more murderers than any other Senate candidate that we can find in the history of the country. Supports groups like BLM and the Crips. That was new to me. Wants taxpayer-funded heroin injection sites. He wants to sue oil companies for providing the lifeblood of our economy. Supports sanctuary cities and states. My favorite incident is he takes on an innocent African American who did nothing wrong and chases him down and puts a shotgun in his face and holds him there. And he won't debate until the last week of this campaign, but he wants closed caption, a teleprompter. And this is the guy that said in the primary that the people of Pennsylvania deserve 3 debates at least so they can see the candidates together. What happened to that point of view?
Well, he's not holding that view closely to his heart these days. It's been tough wrestling him down to a partial debate, which we're hoping to do 2 weeks before the election. Here's the deal. He's not answering questions from anybody. All the points you just made should require him to articulate some response, but he doesn't do that. He doesn't answer questions on the campaign trail from voters, from the press, won't talk to me. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette asked him to release his medical records. We have some idea what's going on. Doesn't respond. The challenges around having more debates, having earlier debates, having longer debates, doesn't answer. And here's the reality. His lieutenant governor, he led an administration that offered crippling anti-energy and anti-business policies. You pointed out a few of these, but the rhetoric is crippling to our energy industry. It's hard to work in industry when Lieutenant Governor is saying it's a stain on Pennsylvania, or we should have a moratorium on drilling. And you pointed out that he wants to prosecute energy executives for doing their job. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce endorsed me, and they endorsed me because they know that John Fetterman is not going to do good things for the working people of Pennsylvania, independent of many of the other issues we can talk about. That's why, if you're concerned, and you should be, please go to droz.com to support our effort to make sure we tell the truth about John Fetterman.
I want to get to the nitty-gritty here. You started this campaign down double digits. You're now within a point and a half of him, and closing quickly. It seems like the message has finally gotten out. It's amazing that the people of Pennsylvania, that the media in your state, unfortunately, has not done a good job vetting him. And they've allowed him, like Joe Biden, they allowed Joe Biden in 2020 to hide in his basement. He's never answered a tough question. The rare interviews he's been doing is on MSDNC, and he's not answering any questions from the mainstream media. And when he makes an appearance, he might talk for 5 minutes and let other people talk for 30 minutes and then walks off the stage without taking a question. How long is that going to be allowed to go on through the rest of the campaign? We only got 34 days left.
Sean, I'm stunned it's still happening. I call on the media every day because I do talk to the media, answer questions, do public events. Yesterday I was getting the support of the Fraternal Order of Police in the northeast part of Pennsylvania. I have the state endorsement already. They don't like John Fetterman because they realize he's in present danger. And I had all the press there, the press gaggle, and I asked what you're asking me. Why aren't you asking these difficult questions? Why aren't you helping John Fetterman at least clarify his stance on public safety? And some of these issues on drugs are really harmful to our young ones. He believes that we should decriminalize all drugs and have heroin injection sites. And I was in North Philly at a prayer vigil because we've got so many homicides that we're just trying to come together to bring some peace to the streets. Of course, Fetterman doesn't show up in Philadelphia for these kinds of meetings, but he endorsed a program that Oregon has already put forward with decriminalization of drugs that resulted in a 50% increase in drug deaths and a 40% increase in homicides. This is what he wants for Pennsylvania, and I say no way. We're not going to let that happen. So please, again, come to DrOz.com, support our movement. We're going to win this race.
And he's been a trust fund brat. This guy's never worked. The hoodie, the tattoos. I don't listen. There are real working people. He tries to portray himself as one. He's never had a real job in his life. He got a home from his family. He was supported by his parents all till he's 50. Buys a home from his sister for $1. Shows up he owns 6 homes. Waited to get the money for it because he didn't work. And then he didn't pay taxes on them. But he wants to raise taxes for the people of Pennsylvania. Explain that one. We have about 10 seconds.
It's unexplainable, and he hasn't paid his own taxes 67 times. I think the decision is clear here. We just got to stay focused on the 3 big issues: the economy, crime, and the border with fentanyl rushing across it. That will win for Republicans.
And Fetterman, release your medical records. Stop hiding. Anyway, Dr. Oz, thank you. All right, we now head down to North Carolina, where Republican Senate candidate